everybody, welcome to Mystery Stamping on the 4th of May 2023. I did hold a live Zoom session and I did remember to record it, but I started out with nobody and flipped through a bunch of the clues, and then Angela joined me. So I went back to the beginning, and she and I just took it at her pace and had a really nice time. But it's not really conducive for you guys to follow along. So I will show you what she made, but I'm going to flip through the clues here on this recording for you. Go ahead and pause the video at each clue and work through it at your pace, and then restart the video. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you an address where you can post pictures of your creations, please, on Facebook so that we can see what you made. Okay, let's get started with card number 1. Hopefully you have all of your supplies downloaded and ready to go. If not, you can take a minute and do that now before you dive into the clues. I do strongly encourage you, if you're working with A4 cardstock, to use the centimeter measurements, and if you're using the letter cardstock, use the inches. You can use the inches with the centimeters, but you're going to wind up wasting a lot of cardstock, especially for your bases. Please don't mix and match. That will not work because the proportions are different. So that's the key thing. Okay, let's go. Clue number 1. Score your basic white thick cardstock in half to make a standard card base. So that means you're going to have your score on the left side, and it's going to go like that because this is going to be a portrait card. Clue number 2. Emboss your piece of foil, designer series paper, or colored cardstock with your embossing folder. Clue number 3, add that embossed piece to the left side of the card with liquid glue, leaving about half a centimeter or a quarter inch of the card base showing on 3 sides. So that means this margin, and this margin should be equivalent, and then you'll have an open space on this side of your card. Clue number 4, stamp the sentiment on the bottom of the 2.5 by 4 1/4 or 6.5 by 10.5 centimeter piece of basic white cardstock. Clue number 5, adhere that stamped basic white layer to the colored cardstock layer. You will have a piece of cardstock that is going to be a perfect mat for that stamped sentiment piece. Clue number 6, add the stamped basic white and colored cardstock layers that you just put together to the right side of the card base. Again, leave half a centimeter or a quarter inch showing on the right side, and you will overlap that embossed piece that you put down, and you want it to be centered top to bottom. So it's going to go like that there. Hopefully that's clear. Now, you should have a scrap of basic white. It doesn't matter what size the scrap is, as long as it fits an image or images that you want on your card. So stamp the images on the basic white scrap, color them in if you need to, and probably not a surprise, here's clue number 8, use dies, punches, or snips to cut out those images. Okay, clue number 9, add those stamped images to that basic white colored cardstock panel with dimensionals, and add any embellishments you desire. That was the last clue. So now I will show you my card. I'm going to stand up here real fast so make sure you can see it. You can see the embossing there. That's the new Countryside the one from the Countryside Inn suite, and it's Countryside something, sorry. And then the Color and Contour stamp set with the go-to greeting down there. So mixing some old, technically this is the retired, but I got some Bubble Bath there, and I colored in with Bubble Bath Stampin' Blends. And then this, even though technically that's Mint Macaron, this is actually the Lost Lagoon Light Stampin' Blend. Works perfectly. So I'm glad I have held on to that, because it's just gorgeous. So there's card number 1, and Angela's card is coming up, and then we will go on to card number 2. Okay, there we go for card number 2. You should have all these pieces ready. If not, go ahead and get them ready and then start the video again. So first, again, you're going to score the cardstock, the colored cardstock number 1, in half to make a standard card base. Again, that's 10.5 centimeters for A4 or 4¼ inches for letter. Exactly the same as the last time, but once you've scored it and you have it so that it opens this way, rotate it this way, we're working landscape this time. So using the same color ink as that colored cardstock base, take an image stamp or two, however you want, and fill in the left half of that card front. So over here, fill up the entire area, stamp off the edges. If you're using a fairly big image and you've got a smaller image that you can use to fill in, go ahead and get that whole left side area. Remember, I had landscape. Clue number 3. Starting 1/2 centimeter or 1/4 inch from the right side of the card, glue your 3.5 by 10 centimeter or 1 inch by 4¼ inch piece of colored cardstock number 2. You should have 2 pieces of cardstock. One is slightly thinner than the other. You want the wider one. And again, you're going to glue on the right side, leaving that small equal border around. Yeah. Clue number 4, take your strip of DSP, which should be 3.5 by 10 centimeters or 1 inch by 4¼ inches, and put it just to the left of the piece you just put on, and you're going to butt them right up against each other. Clue number 5. Now you're going to take that thinner piece of cardstock, that 3 by 10 centimeters or 3/4 inch by 4¼ inch, to the left side of that DSP strip, again butting them up against each other. You should now have covered up part of the stamping that you did on the card base. Clue number 6. Stamp your sentiment on the colored cardstock number 4 scrap. Really what you want is, pretend this is colored, a strip of cardstock, and then you're going to cut off the ends. Once you stamped your sentiment, you're going to cut off the ends at an angle or at a slant. Clue number 7, add the stamped and trimmed sentiment to the card front with dimensionals, wherever you want, wherever you think it looks best. Clue number 8, add embellishments. Again, wherever you like, however you think it looks best. Clue number 9, so you have a basic white layer, and you have a colored cardstock layer from your supplies. You're going to put your colored cardstock layer and your basic white layer on top of that, and you're going to glue it inside your card. And then you should have a remaining strip of DSP that should fit perfectly on that piece of basic white inside your card, wherever you think it looks best. And that's the card finished. I will show you mine. There we go. Bring it up so you can see it. And the inside. There we go. And then I will show you Angela's. And when you've made your cards, I would love to see them on my Nancy's Nifty Notemakers Facebook group, or wherever you saw this mystery stamping advertised. You can pop that in the pop pictures in the comments on either my Facebook page or Kylie's Crazy Crafters, and let us see what you've made. Thanks for joining me. Next month in June, we'll be back to a Saturday morning here, Australia time, Melbourne time. And we will try it again with better advertising on Thursday evening in in July. And we'll see how that goes. And we'll just figure out kind of the best time for everybody. So thanks for joining me this time, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.